I'm Jamiron Ross, and welcome to Take 30 News. And you guys are wondering why is the temperature pretty high? I have that and more. Just stay tuned.
MSU's campus is now smoke-free, and the university is providing assistance to those who want to be tobacco-free. Tuesday was the first day of a 30-day practice for the Lady Bulldogs basketball team. Find out these stories and more coming up.
Good afternoon, I'm Brittany Miller. Saturday evening, 4 people were critically injured after a single SUV accident on Highway 82.
And I'm Madison Bryan. Our top story this afternoon, the Southeast is still suffering effects of Hurricane Matthew, with floodwaters continuing to rise and hundreds of people still stranded. Mass evacuations are still underway as the flooding from Hurricane Matthew continues to destroy the states across the southern east region. Although the storm is no longer a hurricane, states like Florida and the Carolinas are still feeling the brunt of the storm's massive rainfall. According to the National Hurricane Center, Matthew is now only a post-tropical cyclone. However, the 75-mile-per-hour winds are still as powerful as Category 1 hurricane. Authorities said Matthew killed over 19 people in 4 states, and 330 lives were taken in Haiti alone. The storm has left thousands without electricity and caused hundreds of businesses to temporarily close their doors.
Although voter registration ended on October 8th, citizens of Florida are still able to register until October 18th. Because of the effects of Hurricane Matthew, several voting rights groups were forced to cancel registration drives prior to October 8th deadline. Due to threat of hurricane, as a result, many Florida residents asked Governor Rick Scott to extend the registration deadline because of the hurricane, but Scott refused, saying people have had time to register, end quote. On October 5th, Judge Mark Walker granted a voter registration extension, allowing residents to have an additional 6 days to get their paperwork in order. Walker felt compelled to reverse Governor Scott's decision because, quote, there is nothing more precious than having a voice in elections.
Saturday evening, 4 people were critically injured after a single SUV accident on Highway 82. Although the cause of the accident isn't certain, officials believe that the driver, 18-year-old Tyler Coleman, lost control of the vehicle. All 4 of the passengers were found outside of the SUV when emergency assistance and helicopter arrived on the scene. Oktibbeha County emergency personnel stated that the 2 17-year-old male passengers were airlifted to North Mississippi Medical Center in Tupelo and are currently in stable condition. The youngest passenger, a 15-year-old girl, remains on life support at the University of Mississippi Medical Center. Police are still investigating the accident.
Mayor Raheem Emanuel is on a time clock with teachers from the Chicago School District, which is the 3rd largest school district in the nation. Teachers say they will begin a strike if contract dispute is not settled. The teachers have worked for more than a year with no contract. If the strike happens, it will be the 3rd work strike since Emanuel took office in 2011. Chicago public school officials say they will leave the doors open to students, but that students will expect to see teachers picketing outside. The longest strike took place in 2012, took several weeks to resolve.
When students and employees came back to Mississippi State this fall, they were greeted by several signs informing them about a new campus-wide policy. I went out to find out more about what resources are being allocated for this new policy. MSU became a smoke-free campus on August 1st. The policy was set by the administration. MSU's Department of Health Promotion and Wellness is providing resources to help students, faculty, and staff who want to quit smoking.
With those resources, a student, they can come through and get support through our either one-on-one or small group meetings. Also, they can go through the Mississippi Tobacco Quit line if they're a Mississippi resident to get free nicotine replacement products, which could be gum, lozenges, or patches.
The Department of Health Promotion and Wellness has had a few calls with some students wanting to know about some of the resources that are open to them. No one has taken the advantage of the health center's resources yet.
There was actually an article in the Reflector a couple of weeks ago. A student wrote in the opinion section, and he talked about how it was helping him quit smoking. He knew he needed to be working on stopping smoking, and that's actually helping him quit smoking. We thought that was positive, unsolicited little plug.
For more information, you may visit www.health.msstate.edu/health.
MSU is having another record enrollment for incoming freshmen for the second year in a row. The freshman class has increased by 153 students, which brings the new record to 3,624. The university also saw an increase in the number of graduate and transfer students. The graduate school accepted an additional 665 students. President Mark Keenum is thrilled about the future for MSU. He later went on to say that this is an exciting time in MSU history, and that 66% of MSU students are in residence from MSU. For more on this, we will have more on the campus, and they look forward to being continued with the success of the year.
Florida was supposed to be the main act at this year's Bulldog Bash, but on the day of the event, he notified MSU student government via an Instagram message that he would not be attending. Mississippi State University did not pay Florida, but the General Counsel wants to pursue litigation to recover damage because of his absence. A representative for MSU says the cancellation is not the fault of the student government and that Bulldog Bash was still a success.
All right, so how about these sports coming up, Tommy?
Mississippi State football team had a disappointing weekend in that
did.
loss against Auburn, but they look to bounce back this week against BYU. We'll see what happens.
Let's hope we do better.
We have more with sports coming up next.
Maybe you're like me and are looking for ways to pay for school here at Mississippi State.
You can apply for grants, loans, and work study through the free application of federal student aid at www.fasfa.ed.gov. You only have to apply once per year. Now remember, grants, free money.
But loans, you'll be on the hook for that later.
The earlier you apply, the better.
Mississippi residents can find state scholarships and financial aid
At www.riseupms.com.
Fill out the MSU General Scholarship application every spring in your MyState portal for the upcoming year. Look for departmental scholarships as well.
Looking for internships, co-ops, part-time on-campus or off-campus jobs? Visit careers.msstate.edu.
For more information, follow us on our social media at Bulldog Budget.
Welcome back. It was a tough loss this past week for the Bulldogs versus Auburn Tigers. Prior to the game, fans celebrated Bully's second birthday in Auburn's first offensive series. In the game, quarterback Sean White threw an interception to the MSU defensive back Kevon Coleman. MSU first offensive possession led to a missed field goal. Throughout the first half, Auburn came through the game scoring back-to-back touchdowns, taking a 35-0 lead into the half. The Bulldogs finally got a pair of touchdowns in the third quarter. The final score was 35-14. After the game, Coach Dan Mullen had a few words about the upcoming opponent's quarterback from BYU.
He's a physical runner, will yourself to win guy. You know, he's not going to make dynamic plays running with the ball until all of a sudden he breaks into the open field and no one catches him.
On the soccer, junior Alex Silkwild has been the #1 pitching option for MSU's softball team since her freshman year, and she did not disappoint Saturday against Chipola College. The Bulldogs and Indians battled it out in a doubleheader at Nulls Park, and the game won. Silkwood was not only helped her team on the mound, but 1 point on an RBI double early in the game. Late in the fifth inning, Madison Constituous tripled, helped clinch the lead for the Bulldogs, and thanks to the pitching of Hollywood and Silkwood, MSU ended up winning in the bottom of the seventh with a score of 8-1. The Indians tried to make a comeback in Game 2, but only had 6 hits and were shut down by Silkwood. MSU swept Chipola, beating them 12-0 in Game 2. On the women's basketball, this year's the ladies Bulldogs team may be the most talented team in Bulldogs history. Yes, that even includes the Diamond Dogs and the beloved football team. The Bulldogs returned every key player from last year's Sweet 16 All-American Victoria Vivens, who led the team in scoring a year ago, is poised to have another record-setting season. Senior Dominique Dillingham looks to improve on her spectacular 2015-16 campaign with another solid season, as the Lady Bulldogs look to earn Mississippi State's first national championship. Whatever the results may be, this season has the makings to be a very memorable one. On to men's hoops. Mississippi State men's basketball is also gearing up for the upcoming season. Unlike the Lady Bulldogs, the men of the hardwood don't have as much experience, but they are talented. The incoming class for the Bulldogs will rank number 7 nationally, with the likes of Mario Kegler, Tyson Carter, Quindary Weatherspoon to go along with senior I.J. Reddy. The Bulldogs have a solid young core heading to the season, and that core could potentially ruffle some feathers in a very competitive SEC. On the high school sports, Starkville High School senior Willie Gay has been selected to play in the U.S. Army All-American game in San Antonio. Gay is the 3rd-ranked player in the state according to 24/7 Sports. Gay is the 2nd Starkville player in several years to play in one of the nation's top All-American games. Gay's work ethic and discipline, along with being an outstanding athlete, is what got him the nod. The game will be televised Saturday, January 7th at 12 noon Central Standard Time. On to the NFL. Dak Prescott is still setting records and lighting up the NFL. He had another solid showing Sunday against the Cincinnati Bengals. Prescott threw for 227 yards and a touchdown while rushing for a touchdown. The Cowboys beat the Bengals 28-14 and are now 4-1 on the season. Jerry Jones, owner and GM of the Cowboys, says he wants to start veteran quarterback Tony Romo once he's healthy and ready to play. However, Dak's early success this season may have many fans and former players saying that the Cowboys should stick with Prescott. On to Mississippi State high school football. Prescott isn't the only Mississippi football player setting records this season. On Friday night, Laurel High School senior Kendall Breland scored a record-breaking 1-yard touchdown during the first quarter. Now, it might sound odd that a 1-yard touchdown is record-breaking for a varsity football game. What makes a touchdown historic one is because it was the first one of the entire state of Mississippi scored by a football female player. Female high school football players have scored points prior to Breland's touchdown, but they have only been able to kick field goals and extra points. Laura went on to beat Wingfield 61-14. That's all for sports. Now back to Brittany at the desk.
All right, thank you so much, Tommy, for those sports. All right, Jemima, so how is this weather looking like for this upcoming weekend? You know, fall break is coming up, so how about that weather?
Weather's looking pretty warm, but like I said, it'll probably get a little bit low towards the nighttime. So if you're looking to go to the Mississippi State Fair or go to the Starkville Yellow Jackets football game, you might want to pack that jacket. I have that and more after the break. Stay tuned.
Flight. It's driven mankind's dreams for centuries. The ability to soar above the earth, to travel to faraway places, to connect distant points. Manned flights to the moon and space were once the stars for which we reached. Now, unmanned aircraft are the future. At Mississippi State University, our teams are developing unmatched unmanned aircraft systems for an array of critical applications. We're so good at it, the Federal Aviation Administration named MSU the Center of Excellence in the field, asking us to lead the team that's creating the operating regulations for unmanned aircraft systems worldwide. So we're writing the flight plan for an industry that is the future. Our work means better information, more opportunity, and limitless horizons. For you. The sky really is the only limit.
The Ottobock County Humane Society is a 501c3 nonprofit organization. We were established in 1978 and revitalized in 1997. And we were established based on everybody should treat their animals humanely. And what we do is we run the City of Starkville Animal Shelter, We take in about 2,000 animals each year, but we also reach out to those community members that need to get their pets fixed through our low-cost spay neuter programs. We are very grateful for the funding that we receive from the United Way. We use those funds to care for our animals that we have here in the shelter, as well as they go to help also support those programs that we offer to our community members. Having that support with the United Way, it helps us provide more care for animals. The more funding we have, the more we're able to help support our community. Without them, our efforts to make all of this happen would not be possible.
Good evening, this is Devin Roberts with Tate 30 News, and tonight I'm sitting alongside Molly May. Molly, how are you today?
I'm doing so well, how are you?
I'm good, I'm good. So we understand that you are Miss MSU, so how is that? Tell us a little bit about that.
I won about 2, maybe 3 weeks ago on a Friday night, and it was amazing. It was mind-blowing. I walked into the competition, I mean, of course, wanting to win, but I walked in absolutely convinced that I was not going to win. And so I did my very best in all areas of competition, but when they called my name at the very end, I literally hit the floor and cried my eyes out. And ran over to all of my friends that came and were sitting at the very edge of the stage and just ran and hugged them and cried some more. But it was absolutely amazing.
It was. And we also understand that you were breast cancer pre-survivor, right?
Yes.
So
in the pageant, everyone has a personal platform, and all of that means is that you have a charity that you are so devoted to raising awareness and or funds for throughout your year of service. And mine is breast cancer awareness. My mom was diagnosed with breast cancer when I was 8 years old, and so for 3 years I watched her fight, and but she is luckily now a 12-year survivor, and I'm so proud. But she had a gene mutation which has a 50-50 shot of being passed along to your children. And so I had that testing done when I was 19. It's called the BRCA1, and I had that. So then we had an MRI just to be proactive, and we ended up finding a mass in my left breast, which led to me having a double mastectomy when I was 19. So it's been about 2.5 years now since that. It was a long recovery period of about 6 months. It was a lot of physical therapy.
Very painful too, I'm
Very
sure, right?
painful.
Yes.
I could not move my upper body from right here. So this is all the movement that I had. So I had to have someone help feed me and dress me and bathe me and brush my hair and brush my teeth. I could kind of lean down and do that. But it was a trial, but here I am, and I'm fully capable of moving, so we're good.
Yes, and as a 19-year-old girl, you know, I'm pretty sure that was pretty tough for you to have someone to do all of those things for you, you know, coming from that.
Oh, definitely. And it's almost embarrassing to an extent, and especially when you're a 19-year-old girl and someone takes away the part of your body that almost makes you feel like a woman. And even for somebody who competes in pageantry, especially when you have to compete in the swimsuit portion of pageantry, it gets a little self-conscious. And there was a good period of like 3 months where I just didn't look in the mirror. And it took a very long time for me to be able to look at myself and say, this is okay. My scars are not hideous. My scars are not are terrible aspects of my body. They're battle scars. And so I learned that from my mom, so she helped me get through it.
And yes, and I also understand you come from a small town called Houston, Mississippi, right?
I do. It's very tiny. We have 7 stoplights, but that's perfectly fine. And I grew up in a very small high school. I knew anybody and everybody. And so they're very proud, which makes me proud that I get to make them happy. It's every time that I do anything remotely important, my church congregation always gets up and speaks about it at church on Sunday mornings. So that it makes me so happy, but I'm glad that they're proud of me.
Yes, and I also understand I was told that you are running for Homecoming Queen, right? So tell us a little bit more about Homecoming Queen and running for that, you know?
I am so excited and I'm so nervous. My friends have not let me drop out, even though I've tried about 7 times now. But they are so confident in me, which makes me confident in myself. And it would mean the absolute world for me, for everyone to vote on October the 18th via OrgSync.
Okay. Well, it was nice talking to you today, Molly. And also, one more question I have for you. You also said that you're a breast cancer survivor and winning Miss MSU. So I'm pretty sure that was one of the best times of your life to win that. So can you tell us a little bit more of how it is to walk around with that crown on your head and saying that you are Miss MSU?
Oh, yes. It's also a joy, but it's also a very big responsibility because now, as Miss Mississippi State University, I'm not only a title holder in the Miss America organization, but I'm an employee of this institution, and I'm a face of this institution. So everything I do and say day is very important. It carries more weight than it used to, but it also opens up so many doors, and I get to speak to people that I never would have gotten to speak to before. So I'm very proud. I take it very seriously, but I'm so excited for the year that's ahead.
Okay, well guys, this is Devin Roberts with Take 30 News and alongside Molly May, and it was nice talking with you today, Molly. I hope everything goes well. Right after the break, we will have more weather with Jamar and Ross.
Hey Carmen, how you doing?
Doing good, Adam. How are you?
Well, actually, I'm really stressed out right now. I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to pay for these student loans. You have to keep track of what you're borrowing and what you're going to pay when you graduate.
Oh, I'm not even trying to think about that.
It's like the loans are still there even if you graduate or not. Some of them are starting to charge interest the moment you get them.
Well, how do you know how much you owe?
Well, actually, I found this great website at www.nslds.ed.gov. You can get all your loans needs and what you're going to pay and what you owe right off the bat.
So you can figure out how much you owe and the best way to pay it off, right?
Yeah, this website can help you pay your loans out months or even years earlier.
Well, what about after you graduate? How do you get a job to pay off the loans?
So for occupation needs, when you're just now starting to pay your loans, even right after college, you go to www.jobsearchintelligence.com for that.
Well, you know, I heard that MSU has a Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and tips on how to pay off your loans and other financial needs.
Wow, I would really check that out. Thank you so much.
You should. You're welcome.
Welcome back to Take 30 News. I'm your weather anchor, Jamiron Ross. And I know you guys have been wondering, it's fall, so why are we experiencing these warm weathers? Well, I can show you here we are having warm days and fair nights, and we are about to have some showers coming up Friday, so please look for that. And we are in the burn bands effect. Moving on to the burn bands effect, so I can explain it a little bit deeper. Here we go. As you can see, Starkville, Aberdeen, West Point, and Columbus, we're all in the burn ban effect. That means no burning allowed. So if you guys like to have those barn fires or those campfires with your family, you can't do it around this time. But I will recommend that you guys can start back doing that around the 21st of this month. So you guys can have fun with that after that time. But remember, do not burn anything because everything is dry. But moving on to this morning, as you can see, the temperature was kind of low this morning in the mid 40s. I'm around the Starkville area. I noticed when you walked outside this morning, you saw that it was kind of chilly to check the temperature and you had to go back in to get that jacket. So, and this is the reason why. Moving on to the highs today, as you can see, we're in the low 80s around this time. So if you did grab that jacket, you had to get in the car. You probably had to take that jacket off and turn the AC on around this time. But it's okay, because guess what? Moving on. Thursday morning, it's going to be a little bit higher than it was today, but we're going to be around, here we go, around in the mid 50s. So you may need that jacket, depends on what type of person you are and the way your skin is. Me, I may or may not need it. And if you move on to around 5 o'clock p.m., it's going to get hot again, around 82 in West Point and 82 in Starkville, but it'll be a little bit cooler over there in Coffeyville. Now, I did speak about that rain on Friday, and here you go. Around 12 o'clock p.m., around the time you're going to get some lunch, you're going to have a little bit of rain come through, but don't worry, it shouldn't last a little too long, but it will be there. All right, tonight you can expect for it to be around 53 degrees. It'll be cool and clear. So if you want to go out with your friends and, you know, enjoy the night and stuff like that, you might want to grab that jacket. Tomorrow is going to be around 86 degrees. Well, a little bit of a passing cold front. So please note that I've said it, grab that jacket. Now, moving on to our 7-day forecast, as you can see throughout the weekend, it's going to be high in the 80s. So if you're going to the Mississippi State Fair, please be aware that you will be in the sunny area. But if you go a little bit later, it'll be around the 60s. So please don't forget that jacket if you want to have fun. So, ladies, are you planning on going to the Mississippi State Fair this
Well,
weekend?
I actually do, you know,
Oh,
because
really?
it's always fun to go, so I think it's really cool.
What about you, Madison?
I haven't been there yet, but I'm hoping to go this
You
year.
haven't been to the State Fair.
Not yet, and I'm really excited.
we
So
have to
especially
go.
for the perfect weather.
We have to go. We have to change that.
Oh yeah, most
Oh, yeah.
definitely.
All right, thank you. So we'll be back.
The sense of place. We all have it, often grown from deep roots in small town communities. At Mississippi State University, our Carl Small Town Center is strengthening these ties. With nearly 40 years of making a difference, we are revitalizing communities into welcoming places to work, live, and congregate. By weaving together the best pieces of our past with modern technology and amenities, we are creating the hometowns of the future. Places where lifetime memories can be made. Where you have all the things you need, along with all the things you want. Through partnerships with our communities, we're identifying improvement opportunities, recommending paths forward, and creating the plans for a better tomorrow.
Last Tuesday, MSU's Department of Health Promotion and Wellness held its 3rd annual Pink Dog Walk for breast cancer awareness. The event was held at Chadwick Lake Walking Trace. MSU students, faculty, and surrounding areas came to participate and support the event. There were nutrition exercises and self-exam tips available at different stations. There were also pink-themed snacks and drinks provided. The first 350 people who completed the walk received a free t-shirt. Cotton candy, stuffed animals, and rides. The 157th Mississippi State Fair is back. The fair is located in Jackson, Mississippi, and will be from October 5th till Sunday, October 16th. There will be vendors, carnival rides, concerts, and a wide selection of food. Each night, fairgoers can listen to country music from Brandon Native, Jay Harrington, and the hospitality tent from 7 p.m. And people will be able to purchase tickets at the fair at the fairgrounds or go to msstate.net. For more information, you can go to the website. All right. So, Madison, have you ever been to the dog walk, the Pink Dog Walk?
Yes, I have been the past 2 years, and it was really fun to get to go out there this year. One of my favorite things is just all the little events they do.
Seems fun.
It
Seems
is.
really fun.
Seeing all those people share their breast cancer stories is a great experience.
All right. Well, I'm Brittany Miller.
And I'm Madison Bryan. Thank you for watching.